And then we go to a nightmare situation for a Giants fan. Let's be honest. Not only was your franchise player given away to the Eagles, they are now playing the Commanders for the NFC Championship.
Nightmare would be like the Cowboys would be in there, I think, for the Giants.
No,
But
no, the Giants hate the Eagles way more than the Cowboys, dude. Way more.
well, I meant like the
Hey,
Cowboys
this
being
is
in instead of the
yeah.
Cardinals.
No, no, no. For a Giants fan, this is a nightmare situation. Nobody else. I mean, this is cool. I
I mean,
like
this is a
this.
nightmare situation for the Cowboy fans too.
Oh, that's what you meant. I okay, my bad. My bad. I'm an
You don't
idiot.
get the
I get
show.
the show now. Uh but yeah. Oh, I mean like yeah, Cowboys are Giants fan, but especially for the Giants because you let Saquon Barkley to the Eagles.
After having as big of a win as the Commies did in the divisional round against the Lions, is it surprising to you, knowing that they were 9.5 point dogs, that Vegas is still coming back and saying against the Eagles in Philly, you are 6 point dogs?
That's not surprising at all. The first time they met up and Jalen Hurts actually played the whole entire game, it was not that close.
No.
Second matchup, whenever Kenny Pickett was in, and I believe Kenny stayed in for that whole entire game for the rest of it, or did they go to Tanner McKee at that one?
They
I
went to
think he
Tanner McKee in that
started
one.
and then they went to yeah. They went
Either
there.
Kenny
way,
Pickett got hurt.
either way, it all relies on Jalen Hurts being in this game, and Vegas just wants to go ahead and think that Jalen Hurts is going to account for 6 points.
Oh,
So
he got pretty banged up last week. Like he was
yeah,
getting up slow, dude. The snow
he
does that shit to you though. I'll tell you what. God
he's going to have
damn.
a rough go of it this week. But do you really think the Commanders' defense is that good enough? They're still a middling defense. They're hot right now. They just got lucky with a lot of turnovers last week. Does it
I don't
continue
think
for the
that's
Eagles?
lucky. I think that's Jared Goff being Jared Goff when it kind of
I was going to
matters,
say, because it's
honestly.
bad. Like,
That
as much
too,
as we
yeah,
don't
but
think Jalen Hurts is really that good of a quarterback, being able to like throw the ball,
Well, he
um,
doesn't have to. He doesn't have to.
he
Let's
doesn't
be
have
honest.
to. So that limits the turnovers that can happen there. And you've got Saquon Barkley. I think you're right in saying that the commies have a middling defense, but the offense is what can keep them in it. It's just how much can they match up against this really, really good Eagles defense?
Bro, they didn't punt. They didn't give the ball away last week to the Lions. Like, they can do whatever they want. Did you hear about the whole VR stuff with Jayden
Yes.
Daniels?
oh yeah, I brought it
John
up
He's
on
talked
here.
about it as
he's
well.
practicing on VR at 1.75 speed. Like everything's happening faster than for him throughout the week, and he's getting extra reps. That's the future. That's the future. I think if you're the commies, if you're Dan Quinn, you're like, look, defense, I need one stop, and this motherfucker's gonna score.
See, I don't
Just give me
think
one.
the Commanders are playing with house money anymore. They're
Yeah.
here
Oh,
now. They're here to win. You made it this far. Why not try to go win it? You're not.
they're six
Oh
point
well, house
dogs.
money.
I still think they're playing with house money, but
They are.
They're
They
definitely
are.
still playing with house money, but
what does
this
Vegas
matchup,
know though? Because like the
this
the spread was big last week against the Lions, and they won. So like, what does Vegas know that we don't?
It's a rookie
I think
quarterback.
that
They
was
don't
the
expect him to make
They
the Super
also they
Bowl.
also had the Ravens favored over the Bills.
did they did. But I think this matchup is not good for the commies when we're talking about offense versus defense. I know the commies don't have much to lose. I know that Jayden Daniels is very good. He's shown that. And they also have tremendous weapons. What is worse for them right now is that they're going up against a healthy defense, a defense that doesn't have 22 guys on the IR,
Yeah.
and they do not have a run game. As good as I like Brian Robinson Jr., I think Austin Eckler is a fantastic running back, especially receiving out of the backfield.
In the red zone receiving out of
The
the backfield.
commies, the commies are a one-dimensional team. And maybe that plays a little bit of a factor into like how good and special they can be, is because that they can run multiple different sets. You're not really going to know what the wide receivers are going to be doing, right? But this Eagles defense, they're coached very well, and they have very, very good players that can match up
Hold up.
very well.
Hold up. You've been trashing Nick Sirianni all year. Don't say.
Nick
Don't
Sirianni is not
say
the defensive coordinator,
that's fair, but come on, man.
He
He's
still
in charge of
coaches
that.
them.
Yeah, he still coaches him. Come on, dude.
I mean,
which is why they
it's the
have
ultimate test. Like this commies team has caught fire. If they can, if they can take it to the Eagles defense, like kudos to them. Like I
Yeah.
don't, I don't. There's no. there's not really a better story in sports as of recent. Like this team was under 500 last year and not even expected to make the playoffs this year. So the
Under
fact
new
that they're
management.
even in the NFC Championship game, I think, is a great story for football. And I don't want to see the Eagles again. So
Well, I definitely think um, if the commies win, whoever comes out of the AFC is probably going to win the Super Bowl. I would venture to guess. Also, too, we haven't really seen like a snoozer of a Super Bowl since when was that? 20 the Rams Patriots? When was
Rams
that?
Patriots.
Yeah, but like that wasn't even like that was just a close game, right? Like it was close, but there wasn't a lot of points.
Rams Bengals was pretty snoozy.
Oh yeah,
I mean, the Bengals were
big
driving at
snooze
the end of the
fest.
game. They had a chance to win. It was a long shot, but it was a chance. I mean, like we haven't seen a blowout, is what I'm saying. And I hate to say this, but if the commies win and have to play the Chiefs or the Bills, we could see a blowout in the Super Bowl. I really do.
See, I don't know. I think Jayden Daniels is playing on that much of a different level. I think he's already, I'm going to go ahead and say it, top quarterback in the NFC right now.
He's playing like it. It
He's
ain't
on
Jared
that level
Goff.
right now. It ain't Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, no. It's well, again, Jalen Hurts hasn't had to throw the ball 50 times a game like a lot of other guys do. So like
Do you think this is a game where he has to? Do you think that
if
Eagles
they get
defense?
behind,
But that's the question: is do you think this Eagles defense, for as well as they've played this season, outside of the first couple of weeks where they were getting hiccups, do you think that this could be turned into a game where Jalen Hurts has to throw the ball, where Antonio or not Antonio, when AJ Brown and Devontae Smith are having to get receptions, where they're not just sitting there blocking for Saquon Barkley? Do you think that this is the game where they have to go tit for tat and neither defense is playing, or do we think that the Eagles defense is actually going to play up to how good they've been playing all season and actually making some stops here?
I think did anybody watch the national championship game? I know you didn't,
Yes.
Tybo, but so Notre Dame got the ball first and spent 10 minutes driving down the field to score. I'm not saying the commies will do that. That's not how their offense is, but I can see the commies like getting the ball, taking a lot of time to score, scoring once, and then the Eagles like possibly running away. Also, not terrible weather for the game in Philly either, which I think that was kind of an X factor for them. Like that fucked up the Rams a lot last week. I think the
Yep.
Rams play a much closer. I mean, it was still close towards the end there, but like I think they play an even closer game if that's just not snow and just it's just in the cold, you know.
Oh, big time. But listen, Commanders are going to come out do their thing. I think with them running so well on fourth down right now, they're going to go for it on almost every fourth down.
Yeah, they got
That's going
four
to
downs every first down.
Yeah.
every single time. They're going to just control the game in that aspect. The Eagles are going to get down. They're going to start pressing, and then Jalen Hurts is going to have to start throwing the ball. They should still rely on Saquon because he could pop one off at any time. But Jalen Hurts is going to do Jalen Hurts thing. Nick Sirianni is still a big dum dum, and they're going to be a lot of questionable coaching calls for them.
If they lose, if the Eagles lose, is this a fireable offense for Nick Sirianni? Do the Eagles
For
fans
me,
get so angry?
for me, yes, they should go ahead and fire him. For them, no, he's going to be there until next year, and then they're going to go 2-5, and then they're going to fire
They'll
him.
be like, oh, could fire you again. Yeah. I don't know. That would be kind of dramatic.
What's the known Jayden Daniels lover think about this game? It said a whole lot.
I mean, it's literally his toughest test. This is one of the best defenses in the entire league, second to probably the Chiefs defense. Um, the exciting whites back there really make for a formidable duo. But yeah, Jayden Daniels is going to have to do even more than just like put the team on his back. He's going to have to strap up. He's going to have to put, a couple knives in his socks. He's going to have the strap in the waistband. Like he's going to have to pull out all the stops against this Eagles team and even more. So it's it's all the whole season has culminated to this point. He's got the toughest battle ahead of him this weekend. But I do think he can do it. The stuff that I've seen out of this Commanders offense is quite bedazzling. Um, the
What a word. Not a boy,
I
Tybo.
I do think the Eagles like should win this game. Like Vegas has them -6, right? Like they had the better record this season. Technically, they're the more complete team, but you're gonna get this feeling if the Commanders are within a score
Yeah.
going into that fourth quarter,
You've
like
been
you're gonna
saying
get
it for
this.
the last 2
Yeah,
weeks.
you're gonna
I
get this
totally agree.
feeling that the Eagles are gonna start like letting shit slip. There's just gonna be this feeling in the back of your mind, and you're going to visibly see the Eagles like start to crash out midfield.
Well, like that's what happened last week. Like they got up on the Lions and then time kept ticking away and like there's that sinking feeling for the Lions like fuck, we're going to run out of time. Like we just don't have, literally enough time to go down the field and score. So I completely agree with you there, Tybo. Don't let the commies stay in it because
And I
that's where
mean
they're
this
most dangerous.
this VR, like if the commies fuck around and win the Super Bowl this year, this VR thing is going to take off, and
If
that's
they at
going to be
least
the way
go, if they
that's
at
going to be
least
the
go,
way
bro.
everybody is going to be preparing
Yes.
for games. And like maybe we can't fuck with someone who's just in that much of a zone. You know, Jayden Daniels is fucking dialed in right now.
His favorite target, Scary Terry, has been on a tear this
Yeah.
season. I mean, there's not been really anybody who can cover him. But he's going up against an opponent that he knows in the Eagles. He's going up against DBs that he matches up against all the time. Do you think that Terry McLaurin can get himself available, open, and available enough during this game? Or do you think that Jayden Daniels is going to have to look elsewhere more often, maybe Zach Ertz or who are some? I'll be honest, outside of Jahan Dotson, I don't really know who's obviously not there anymore. Who
I
are
want
their
to
other
find
wide
Ty
receiver
Bob right
options?
here. I want to find Ty Bob. Jahan Dotson is on the Eagles.
I literally just said that. I just said
I
that I
don't
know
care.
That's
he's
what he
not
was
there.
saying.
I don't care. I don't care. You don't know any of them. You got Olamide
It's kind of gray
Zaccheaus,
area fine. It's kind of gray area.
Deami Brown.
De'Ami
De'Ami
Brown,
Brown.
the guy who was picked before Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I would say though, I mean their running backs are dangerous out of the backfield. I know that's not their first job. That's not in their initial job description, but you do have to watch out for those two
And
from the
as
backfield.
much as the Commanders' offense knows the Eagles' defense
Yep.
knows the Commanders' offense. So Scary Terry is going to get his catches. There may have to be more contested catches versus I've got 5 yards of space around me.
Hmm.
Um, but even then, I think it has more to do with the way Jayden Daniels is throwing that ball because like there's a spot on every route where if the quarterback can get the right arc and the right
Hmm.
angle and the right spot, only the receiver is going to be able to catch it. So,
And he's been
um,
on a heater.
yeah, it's Terry McLaurin can run great routes. He's a great NFL receiver, but he doesn't have this kind of season with any other quarterback. I'm telling you right now.
Uh, well,
I
he
do
hasn't.
think
Even Pat Mahomes. Even Pat Mahomes.
I do think I think Cliff Kingsbury is going to play a huge part in making sure that Terry gets open and Zach Ertz gets open. I think when you're faced with a daunting defense like the Eagles with all the names that we've listed off, I think that's where, I mean, that's where the commies can take advantage. I think that this is Cliff Kingsbury's biggest game of his life. And if he wants any shot at being another NFL head coach, he's going to have to perform. And I think he's going to
You're
pull
gonna
out all the
bring it.
stops. I think yeah, no, you're going to see some crazy exotic looks, I think out of the commies. I think they're going to do literally they're going to run every type of formation, motion, route concept on each side. Like they're going to do it all.
Well,
I just ask
so
for
if
one thing from the Commanders, though. Don't bring Marcus Mariota in to run a trick play on a fourth down
Yeah,
That
don't
was
do
against.
that
so
shit.
dumb.
You have Jayden Daniels for a reason.
Hmm.
I think
what
the
I
biggest
do
fact.
think what I do think we're going to see something similar to the way the Chiefs ran a certain look for the Eagles that they misplayed earlier in the regular season. So when the Chiefs played the Eagles in the Super Bowl, our little half wide receiver motion and bring them back
Corn
out,
dog.
the corn dog
Corn
motion or
dog, the
whatever.
loop, the whip, whatever you call it.
So our staff had done film on the Eagles and realized that they played that same motion, or they played motion a certain way on the goal line. And the Chiefs saw that evidence and implemented that in the Super Bowl. I think the commies are going to have to look deep in their film bag and find a certain way that the Eagles play a certain look and do something that fucks them
Force
up out
them.
of that.
Force them to give that look.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
That's probably that's really good. It's a really good call out that you have there because
Yeah.
on the other
Very
hand, one
analytical.
thing
Good job,
that we
Todd.
haven't talked about is the defensive line that comes from the Eagles and how much time is Jayden Daniels going to have. Yeah, he's got these great weapons, right? We've seen him be able to move around in the pocket, but if that Eagles defensive line is on their game like they were the first time they played when they got 3 sacks that totaled in 20 yards of losses, if they can do that, if they can get the pressure, disrupt the timing, maybe a long day for Jayden Daniels. And he's
Yeah.
obviously grown from that. He's gotten better. That offensive line obviously stepped it up because they only gave up 1 sack in their next game. But this is a totally different point from where they were in the regular season. And Jayden, as much as Jayden Daniels and the commies have grown, that defensive line is now hunting, ready to go, trying to go to a Super Bowl. And that's probably one of the better aspects of the Eagles team, not just of their
For
defense, but
sure.
of their team. And so disrupting Jayden Daniels, I don't know how he may be able to cope with that if they're on their game that day.
Well, don't forget that the commies are going to be missing their right guard. He went out with an ACL injury last week. He's been a big factor for them all year. But the biggest thing I'm thinking of is the commies have two former Chiefs on their offensive line. They've been in big moments before. They can handle this. Andrew Wiley and Nick Allegretti. Do your thing out there this week.
Goats.
How kind of you as a Chiefs fan to be rooting for a former Chief in a game. Good for you, man.
Backup goats.
Good for you.
Back up, Coach.
Yeah, I mean that's
They
kind of
both
like what
got
you
plenty
said
of
for the
playing
Chiefs and the
time,
Bills, though, right?
honestly.
You know, like we have to as the commies keep the Eagles honest. Don't let that defensive line pin its ears back and just start rushing the shit out of the passer, right? Like
And that's
that's
where it gets tricky because, again, like I
yeah,
said, like the commies are one dimensional almost. Like they can throw the ball out of the backfield, like you said, with their running backs, but it's still a throw. And that
yeah.
defensive line is still going to be able to pin back. You got to try and keep them honest.
Hmm. So who do you like?
Well, it's your pick, sir. The commies are
That's
headed
okay.
to
I just
Philly.
asked you who you like. I didn't ask for your pick. I asked who you like.
The commies are headed to Philly, where the Eagles are 6-point favorites at home. Uh, Tommy, you can go ahead and take, but Sean, the question is do we match it up for a Super Bowl matchup for the winner, or
I like that. I like the Super
Well,
Bowl
I don't know,
matchup
dude. Like, because
for the
someone's gonna have to
points.
pick against the Chiefs.
no
We're
scores?
gonna
That's
go off
lame.
points.
That's lame.
Score.
That's lame. That's lame. Don't
Blame
do that.
yourself.
Shut up, Raiders fan.
Shut up. Shut up. You quit, all right, in the playoffs. I don't want to hear it, all right? You had a chance and you quit, quitter.
Listen, you
Uh,
don't
I have
know
a
how we
chance.
got
I'm
to the last
talking to
2
people who
years,
are still
so
making picks right now,
you
okay? I'm
can't.
talking to a 1 and 2,
You don't get
okay?
to come over and like make your own
I can't
tradition
hear you from fourth
after
place.
1
I'm
year.
sorry. I
We
can't hear
do
you
we
from
do the
third
same
place
shit
looking
every
down
year.
on fourth place. Fourth place.
Go back to the black hole, buddy.
Jackie Moon, fourth place. Congratulations. Give
You're
me the
still gonna have
commies.
to pay your
I'm
fine
rolling with
money
the
too.
California
Like
kid.
I don't.
Huh?
I
Bro, like
said you're
you're
still gonna have
talking to
to
me
pay your
like
fine money
Raiders
too.
jokes bother me, bro. Like ha ha ha, good one. Like
I'm not
I've
trying.
never heard of them before.
Okay, like all I'm saying is you're right now is what I'm saying is you're gonna have to pay your fine money as well.
That's
Like
cool. That's cool. But I'm gonna pay it from third place instead of fourth, and that makes me feel better.
makes no difference. You
Yeah.
It
still
makes me
gotta
feel
pay
so
it.
much better because I'm looking down
If
at
it didn't
third
make a
place right
difference,
now.
then why is there a third and fourth place if it doesn't make a difference?
It's literally why we
Oh, dude. Oh,
stopped
yeah.
doing it in
No,
the
no, no.
playoffs
You
last year.
stopped. You
And
stopped. Don't say
no,
we. You stopped
you
this year.
don't know how we've done it the last 2
Don't get
years,
mad, dude.
Tommy.
Don't get mad. I get that you're in fourth place and you don't know Pick'em and you don't
Good
understand the spread and
God.
all, but like I get it, dude. I get
This
it.
guy's dumb as a box of rocks.
Go on your rant. Fourth
Fuck.
place.
Tommy, I clearly understand that you understand a little bit of pick'em, but you don't understand it well enough to be up here with us.
Yeah, no,
But I'm gonna
clearly.
go ahead and go ahead and
Clearly.
pick the commies too.
All right.
Rolling
Well,
with JD.
I think this game is going to be much closer. I don't know if the commies do it. I don't know.
I think they can cover for sure.
But I think that they can cover.
Backdoor
So I
cover.
will also take the commies, and I, sir, will see you in the
Let's
Super
go.
Bowl as we are on the road to New Orleans, correct? We're headed to New Orleans down to Bourbon Street for this year's Super Bowl. And I
You're
and these
going?
boys, very much like you, are all excited to see the Chiefs head into another one. So
I'm
make sure
excited
you
for the
join
Super Bowl.
us
Repeat,
next week.
repeat.
We break down everything that has happened and get you ready for the Super Bowl. Until next time, go Chiefs.
Go
Go
Chiefs, repeat.
Chiefs.
Fourth place tie ball.